What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to the Monroe Hill Farm YouTube channel. Today we're going to discuss the upgrades that I've done to the Producer's Pride Defender chicken coop. Kind of go over some of the changes that I've made. I think it's been like, excuse me, I think it's been like 2 years since I purchased this thing. So obviously our farm's growing, expanding, getting a little bigger. So I gotta make some changes to this thing to, help our farm grow and sustain what we're trying to do here. So I'm gonna take you guys over here, kind of show you some of the things that I've done to it differently that maybe, if you did purchase this, that you can make, changes to and adjustments to, as well as if you need to expand this thing to hold more chickens. The original coop holds between, I would say, 10 and 15 chickens. 15 is probably maxing it out, a little overboard. I would say 12 is probably really the number I would go with. That is probably your max. But what I've done here allows me to, I would say, put 50 chickens in here now. So we'll walk over here, I'll check it out, show you guys what's all going on with it. All right, so as you guys can see, I still have all the original stuff on the coop. Nothing's really changed with the rest of it. This is the box that I'm referring to that, only holds, I would say, 12 chickens max. Like I said, I'll put a link down below, as well as in the description box, a link to that video of the original purchase of this. But it was great for starters, but now that I'm expanding and getting more chickens, we obviously need more room. So what I've done is Lowe's carries these sheds here that it's kind of prefab. So the walls and all that stuff, or all the lumber's already pre-cut and all that stuff. So literally you just put the thing together. I want to say it was like $500 or $600 for this little barn. And what I've done is attached it to my run. So on the front of it obviously looks like just a regular barn. Obviously still got to paint it and finish the roof. I'm not quite finished with it, but it's a work in progress. And what I've done on the inside of the run is I've taken my grinder wheel and I just cut out all these links and made me an opening in this fencing here and cut a square out of the side of the actual barn and made them an entrance into that. Now I can tell you that unless you can get this run perfectly up against the actual shed, which I couldn't because I've got these concrete blocks, you are going to want to close in wherever the run meets the actual barn. So you can see I've put 6x6 posts around here just to prevent anything from obviously coming from underneath here and getting in here. So you do want to secure that. So that's basically how I've attached it to the run. I've still got the original coop that came with it that goes here. And I will probably more than likely get rid of this. I don't really need it. They've got, they're getting confused laying eggs in 2 different places. So I'd rather get rid of that, fence that off, and then have them just use the barn itself for laying eggs. So on the other side of my actual barn, what I did here was I created a little door. So got the roof overhanging so water doesn't get in there when it rains. But all I've done is slotted out some 2x4s and used the piece that I cut out of here to create this door. So all I got to do is release this rope and the door closes. Pull the rope, tie it off, and the door is secure. So that's their side entrance. That way we can keep the actual gate closed on the run, and this is their entry exit point. And then I also did a best, what are they called, best box or best nest box or whatever. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This was a complete waste of money. I mean, these things are expensive. I think they're $300 or $400, and I haven't been able to get my chickens to lay in them. I have done everything under the sun. I've put plastic eggs in it. I've put their eggs in it. I've done everything I know to try to get them to lay in it, and they won't. So not quite sure if I'll ever make use of that. Obviously, there's a giant hole in the side of the barn now, so I can't just remove it. So it will stay where it is. On the interior of this, really I haven't done much to it. You know, it's just the barn as it is. The only thing that I did add was these nesting poles right here for all the chickens to get on. They will end up way up here, you know, and they'll perch on these way up here on the top. But it just gives me more space. I mean, if you look at all this room that's inside of here, it's giant. So I'm probably going to add some more nesting poles over here. You know, I don't know. We'll see how that goes later on down the road. But this is going to give me the expansion that I need to be able to add more chickens to our farm. So I really look forward to being able to actually get more chickens now, because as I stated in this, we just flat ran out of room. One of the other things that I'm working on is a new watering system. So I'll kind of show you what that looks like over here. And this is, like I said, it's still a work in progress as well. But what I've got is just 4-inch PVC, is what all this is with. So you got a 4-inch piece of PVC here, you got an end cap right there, and then this is a T, a 4-inch T, that's a 4-inch T, and that's a 4-inch T. The rest of this is just little strips of PVC pipe, as well as this. This is a little piece of 4-inch PVC pipe that's just like this one, and they've all got caps on them. Now these two I went ahead and glued on. That one I didn't glue on, and there's a reason for that. I'll show you that here in just a second. But all you're gonna do is take this 4-inch PVC pipe, and I use my Dremel and just cut out a section of that. And that's where the chickens will actually get their water from. So this little black cord you see right there is a heat wire. So what I've done is wrap that pipe with that heat wire, and then in the winter time you can see it's got a cord there. We'll take and plug that cord in, and it keeps this entire tube at a temperature that it will not freeze. So that's kind of how we roll with that to keep our water from freezing, and it works. I mean, it works great. So it's really easy to build, really cheap. You can see that I've only made it this long. You could keep going, you know, all the way down your wall if you wanted to, and just keep adding these water inlets anywhere you want. So what I've done in this one, if I can get this cap off, is inside of here is a typical water float that you would find in your toilet, that when the water's low, it knows, and it fills this thing up until it gets to a certain level, and then it stops. This does take some fine tuning. Obviously, it's just like a toilet flange. You've got to turn this to increase or decrease your water flow. So it does take some time to get that adjusted properly. But once you get it adjusted properly, that water level will sit basically right at this rim right here. It will sit right there, and the chickens can just go in there, get their water, and pop back out. And once they drink down enough, the float kicks in, fills it back up, so this has always got water in it. So you do want to keep the float covered, so obviously make sure your cap's back on here at all times. Just slide your cap back on and you're good to go. On this side, I used a 4-inch rubber cap, and that's just for expansion. If I decide to move it down further and add more, you know, more water inlets on it, then I can. All I got to do is pop that off, glue me on another pipe, and I can keep going. On the bottom side of it, kind of coming back to this float valve, you've got to drill a hole in here. So what I did is I just stuck it up to the bottom of it, kind of drew a marker around it, and that kind of told me exactly how big my hole needed to be. And then it's just like you would hook it up to a toilet, right? It's got your little screw thing on there, And what I did was, before I tightened it all the way down, I actually put some silicone in there and then tightened this all the way down on that silicone so that it got a good seal on there. And then same thing with this. This is just your standard, you know, toilet hose that you would buy in the toilet section, and it goes down, has a connector on there that actually allows me to connect it to my water hose. So my water hose goes there, water comes in, the float valve floats up, fills up the channels, and there you go. So that's the new water that I'm working on. Hadn't got it finalized yet. This is tricky. The float valve is very, very tricky. I've got it to where it works, but I can't get that level set just perfectly how I want it, to where that water is sitting at that rim. It tends to want to either go a little low or a little high. So it's very, very finicky. Once you get it, you'll get it. But, you know, I'm still working on it and getting it fine-tuned. But the rest of the coop is all the same, guys. Hasn't really changed much in here at all. I mean, everything's still the same. I've got the roof on it. Really have enjoyed it though. Wouldn't have it any other way. I love this coop, and I've really enjoyed having it. So I've had a lot of people on the previous video that I posted ask, where can I get this? Where is this? You know, I originally got it at Tractor Supply. They don't carry it anymore. So what I can suggest is to do an idea like the barn, what I've done, you know, get you a barn, and then they do still sell this. So they do still sell the actual run. So you can get the run itself, which I think is a great option, because the runs that I've seen that they have now don't have the opening for the coop. So if we go in here and look, you'll notice how it's got this opening, and that's for the coop that was made for it. Fits in the little slot. Well, the one that they have now has this covered, so it's like this all the way on this wall too. So it's a fully enclosed run. I think it's a great option. You could add multiple of these. You could put 2 of these side by side and make this thing 10 by 20 back to back. You could put 4 of them. You know, you could just keep expanding this thing, and it does give you the protection you need for chickens. The other question I've been asked is, have I lost any chickens? Yes, I have. Obviously, if you own chickens, you're going to lose them. But the loss that I've suffered from my chickens is due to my own lack. For example, there's been times where I left this door open on accident, or I forgot to close one of the coop doors. When I first added this barn, I forgot to add the device I was talking about in the difference in the opening here. I forgot to build that wall on the bottom side of it, and a raccoon got in. So I have lost chickens, but it's to my own negligence, not because of that run or anything I've done or didn't do to the run. The hardware cloth that I put around the bottom has absolutely worked. This barn has been a lifesaver. I mean, I can put them in here, close it down, and I know that's the only door I've got to close. So that's my suggestion to anybody that's curious where and how to get this same type coop and run, is you can buy the run, add on a barn, and there you go. It's going to give you more expansion for chickens, and it's what I'd recommend doing from the beginning. This thing was not cheap, so the original coop and the original run was pretty expensive. I could have done this barn and this run for about $300 cheaper, and I have more space. As I stated previously, that's only going to allow you maybe 12 chickens. You saw the space in here. It's a 10 by 10 shed. I can get quite a bit of chickens inside of here and be perfectly fine for what we need anyway. So anyway, guys, that's kind of what I wanted to run you by you and show you, you know, the changes that I've made, some of the things that I've come across that are going to better serve you for your chicken needs. So guys, if you like the video, you know, definitely subscribe to our channel, hit that like button. I'd definitely appreciate it if this helped you out at all in making any kind of decision on what you might want to do with your chickens. Hit that alert notification. You know, anytime we come out with a video here on the farm, get notified that, hey, we've got something new for you. So definitely hit that subscribe. We definitely appreciate you watching, guys, and we'll holler at you next time. Later.